Hi everyone, welcome to OpenShift Insider. I'm Krishal and with me I have Sandarenu and Randula. So today we are actually going to discuss something very interesting. We are going to discuss why application modernization is important. So in this session we are going to dig into this area. So we are going to start with Randula. Welcome Randula and welcome Sandarenu to the show.
Thank you, Krishna.
So first, I think before we dig into this area a bit more, but I want to know what is application modernization is.
All right, so that's interesting topic because there's a buzzword going on all over. So when it comes to application modernization, there's a lot of people kind of get to the mind is containerization.
Okay.
So it's application modernization, yes, it's containerization and orchestration of an application, but it's not only limiting to that. So it's also getting into microservices architecture and moving the traditional application to a modern technologies with the process. So we're not talking a lot about the DevOps and CI/CD pipeline in that. So application modernization involves not only containerization but also DevOps as well as the microservices architecture, how you build applications. So it's a combination of transforming legacy applications plus adding the process towards that to get the real impact of it.
All right, that's very interesting, and I think it actually covers the entire area, right?
Correct.
So basically, like now the other area or the other question that I have is like how is the current market looks like in application modernization? Like what does it look like at the moment?
Okay, so when it comes to 2024, basically more than 60% of the world application has gone through some sort of a modernization, because there's a lot of legacy application has been there and some applications they are not being modernized because of no resources and there are kind of challenges there. But with the DevOps practices and all, at least 60% of them has moved, right? The second part of it is with this AI revolution, with this tectonic shift, Krishal, it's a must that you have to modernize the applications to get the real impact of it. Otherwise, it's just being there around with the legacy applications, you really derail your competitive advantage. So that's kind of the current market demand out there. So because of the AI, things are coming to play, you really have to modernize your applications.
Well, that's very interesting, Randula. But to basically further dig deep into this, I want to move into Sandarenu because I think you are the best person to get this insight from. Now, since there is demand, what I want to know is what are the technical pain points of traditional application deployment and management that you can actually share with us?
Yes, Krishal. So basically the main challenge is the inefficiencies in the development and the deployment life cycle. Today with this AI revolution and all that, things are moving very fast. So whatever the features we are bringing in, we should be able to bring it to production very fast.
Okay.
But with this traditional applications, it is very difficult because like if you are to deploy it to production servers, we have to copy it to those servers manually, we have to create the patches, and these production servers are most of the time behind multiple firewalls, so we have to copy them through multiple jump hosts and all that. So all these steps need to be done manually by our deployment engineers. So that is prone to human errors and it takes time. So we have to verify these steps are correct using multiple mechanisms. So this takes a lot of time. So we can't move fast.
Okay.
And also to move faster, we need to have CI/CD pipelines to run our deployment things automatically and running the unit test to make sure these products are up to the standards and performing correctly and all that. So doing those things in a traditional architecture is very difficult because there are a lot of moving parts and things are done step by step and all that. So that is one of the main pain points. And the other pain point is like this managing versions. So sometimes it works in a developer's machine, but it doesn't work in the production environment because the OSs and things are different and all that. So maintaining those consistency and all that is very difficult in this traditional architecture. That's why this going into this modern architecture with the containerization, CI/CD and all that is very important.
All right, got it. So I think that makes a lot of sense, right?
Correct.
So I think saying that, I again want to move into Randula, because Randula, what I want to know is all of this is true, right? Accurate. But what I want to know is like, what is the business value that can be brought with application modernization? I think that's very important.
Yeah, because you really need to have that business value to transform the applications and convince
Exactly.
yourself plus the management to convert. So I want to pick one thing that Sandra told. There's a popular saying that it works on my machine and it doesn't work on others, right?
Yeah.
So that's a popular part, which has a very huge cost hidden on that.
Alright.
Because you don't see that cost outside. Example, it takes a lot of time on the deployment side as well as operations. Now dev and ops being combined, that's the part of the application modernization which I talked to you that comes to play. So I want to bring 3 S's for this part of the
Okay.
business value. One S is the savings, other S is the scalability, the third is the security.
Okay.
So I'll start with the first S, right? So the savings part, I want to break it down to 2. One thing is the developer efficiency of it, savings on the developer efficiency. Because when it comes to application modernization, you're going to package it, you're going to containerize the application. Then you make the process with the DevOps of it, which make it much more faster, which Sandrinu has brought it up. To convert those, yes, there's an investment. But the real implication and also the impact will come when it's put into production.
Okay.
The whole process for developers to work on it much more faster way saves time for innovation. Now the time is the key thing, especially with the AI part coming into play. You have to have the efficiency, you have to have the timing. So developer time saving is one of the key part, which will bring a big cost saving for you on
Okay.
that. Second part is saving is the infrastructure side of it. Because legacy applications take huge set of infrastructure, your data center and all. To even deploy a small web application, you have to deploy a whole set of OS, third-party configurations, a lot of things you have to do, and you have to provision the setting up time. The resource cost is very high. But running a container, starting a container, stopping down, high availability, all these areas, it's very much faster. So resource utilization, I think at least more than 50% savings you'll get with the containerization side of it. So that's first S, which is the saving.
Okay.
Second S is the scalability.
Hmm.
There's a lot of problems when it comes to high demand and all. Your things get stuck or shutting down. Downtime is so high. But when it comes to containerization and deployment side, you can fast scale the pods, especially very, very fast way, the containers on that. Third party security. Legacy application has a lot of security issues, which the patching and all takes a lot of time of the security side of it. But when it comes to containerization and modernization part of it, security is much more flexible as well as easy to comply towards that. Especially with the DevOps, you take the security to left, which the developers will have the power with on the containerization side of it. So all these 3 S's will bring a great business value. So if you really don't think that would change, that's a bigger problem as well internally. So that's where you have to spend time and do it, which need to convert your applications to a modern application level.
Very interesting,
Yeah.
Abdullah. I think from what you explained, what I gathered is like, okay, there should be certain steps that needs to be taken to do this, right?
Exactly.
So to basically want to dig deep into this with Sandraenu, want to know, like, as Randula explained, so what are the key steps for application modernization?
Yes. So when we get to know these advantages and all that, like, we'll try to jump in with the big bang thing, but normally that doesn't work. So what we should do is, like, we have to start small. So best way to do it is either select a small application in your setup, small non-critical kind of application, and convert it into this containerized entire thing. Or like when a new CR or new feature comes, like where you have to develop a new module, then you can develop it using these technologies and using the containerization and all that. So in our CPaaS, like, we use the second approach because, like, there are a lot of new features coming in and all that. So where we started with a small new module, practice this thing, and then one by one we move the entire thing into this containerization and this modernization thing. So there are there are a few key steps that we have to follow if you are to make it successful. So first thing is we have to define objective, like what we are going to achieve, and maybe some key KPIs, like we have to improve our efficiency this much, and like we have to reduce the time this much, kind of things. And also we have to have the buy-in from everybody. Right now your team is used to do things in a particular way, so now we are going to change it. So we have to get everybody, teach them, educate them and all that, the importance of that. Sometimes the people don't see the long term gain, they just focus on what they are doing, and so they don't want to change.
Exactly.
So we are bringing in the change, so we have to get everybody's buy-in for that. So that is the second important thing. And then once then we have to train the team. We are bringing in a lot of new things, new concepts, new tools and all that, like let's say Dockerization, CI/CD, all of that. So we have to have maybe multiple tech talks or sessions, all that, like internal team training, things like that. And also, like once that is done, then we have to set up a few infrastructure things, like since we are using containerization and all that, so we have to have a container registry, then the CI/CD pipelines, what is the tool we are going to use for that, like, so all of that infrastructure we have to set it up. And then we can start on the refactoring the existing application, or the developing the new application using the things we have learned. And then we have to always test locally, get the team comfortable with the entire pipeline. To get the entire pipeline working, we may have to go multiple cycles, so make it perfect, and then we can go for the production deployment and all that. So it's a multiple step things, like, so there will be cycles to optimize these things. So that's why we have to start with a small non-critical application, so we can afford to make mistakes. But if you start big and like try to do everything together, then it will be people will definitely fail. So we'll definitely fail because it's too big, and there's a big risk as well. So then people will be scared to try these things. So we have to start small and then make the thing. That's how we did it in the CPaaS platform, when we were doing the modernization. Yeah, that's the main steps. Yes.
Very interesting, Sandaram. Like, I think you, from the points that you spoken, like, what I understood is you have a lot of hands-on experience on this area. So with that, I further want to dig deep into your case and get more insight on what are the key learnings that you have had in your journey by doing this.
Yeah. So one of the main learning is this start small thing, because we also tried to do big things but then scale back, because there are a lot of things to learn and do. So start small. And also the tools we are going to select. So what is the CI/CD platform, what is the containerization platform, what are the registries, what not, like that kind of thing. So we have to spend a little bit of time on selecting these tools, like whether they are matching to our requirements, whether our team has the capability to learn those things, whether they match with our ecosystem and all that. So spending time on doing a little bit of research on that is a key learning. And then we have to start from our production environment in the mind first, because we can do a lot of things in our test environment and dev environment and all that, but when we move into production, there are a lot of limitations. Especially those environment does not have direct internet access and things like that. So we have to keep that in mind and have our architecture and our pipelines ready to overcome those limitations, because we can't ask our production to have blank internet access. So that was one of a major thing that we had learned in a hard way, because everything worked fine in dev environment and EA and all that, but when we go to production, there are a lot of limitations and all that. Also, the tool selection wise, sometimes there are a few issues, like developers try to use their own tools, like let's say most of the time they are using Podman Docker kind of things, but in the production environments you have to use Podman with the Red Hat infrastructure and all that. So identify those things first and do the planning accordingly, and get everybody into single understanding. So those are the kind of key learnings, so that if you are to move these things faster. Yeah.
Right. I think overall it was a very productive, insightful discussion, right? So we actually want to basically conclude the episode 1 with this note. So basically, in the next episode, we are going to dig deeper into this area, and we are going to talk about so many different things when it comes to application modernization. So stay tuned for the episode 2. We'll see you again. Thank you for joining today.
Thank you.
Thank you.